Emma, played by Alexandra Mardell, and Faye Windass, Ellie Leach, have been struggling for weeks with the secret they accidentally killed pensioner Ted, Dougie Brown, earlier this year on Coronation Street. They've been doing their best to cover over their tracks, but in Friday night's episode of the ITV soap, Craig Tinker, Coulson Smith, found out the truth and was left in turmoil over the revelation. At the same time, Emma was attending the pensioner's funeral out of pure guilt, and she got to speak with the deceased's grandson, but could romance be in the air for the two young singletons? At the beginning of the most recent installment of the weeknight serial drama, Faye urged Emma not to go to the funeral. Not only were they harboring the secret about the pensioner's death, but Tim Metcalfe's, Jo Dutton, daughter told her friend they would stick out like a sore thumb if they went, as it would be clear they had no connection to him. However, after the Rovers' return, barmaids spoke to Tyrone Dobbs, Alan Halshaw, about attending the funeral of a former client. He told her it would have meant the world to him if she would go. Dressed all in black, the beloved character headed to the church where Ted's final goodbye was taking place and tried to blend in as one of the mourners. As she tried to leave unnoticed, she got chatting with the newcomer to the show, John Sphere, Jordan Ford Silver, and the pair seemed to get along quite well. After telling each other their names, John said, "If I have to make small talk, I would rather do it with someone on the first set of hymns. We must have been 30 years younger than anyone else in here," he continued, and Faye was right, they would get called out because of how young they were. John was interested to know how Emma knew his grandfather, to which she replied, "I bumped into your granddad in the street. He dropped some shopping and I stopped to help him," she continued, trying to stick to the truth as much as possible. "I went back the day after to check on him and here we are," she added, letting her poker face fall slightly as her guilt was evident. "Surprised he never mentioned you," John said, before adding, "Then again, I didn't see him as much as I should have done over Christmas. I was working double shifts at Freshco in the lead-up and partying," he continued before sadness took over with Emma telling him, "Don't upset yourself. From what Ted said, he saw you all the time and he was dead proud of you," she explained, with John shocked by what he was hearing. "Sometimes you can't tell strangers stuff, relatives, strangers like that you can't say to family, so there is no need to beat yourself up," Emma declared. "I don't know about that," the newcomer said whilst fighting tears, and as the emotions took over, he walked away and sat down in the church. Emma proceeded to follow him, despite her phone pinging with messages from Faye telling her Craig knew everything about Ted. "I remember the last time I said goodbye to him, it was so rushed and I shouted over my shoulder because I just assumed there would always be a next time," John explained. "Of course you did, and it wasn't like Ted was ill," Emma told the newcomer, who told the barmaid his grandfather had just got over a stroke. "I wish I could have 5 minutes with the coward who left him to die," John told his new friend, who replied, "Well, I bet they feel unbelievably bad." "Well, not as bad as we do. My dad is in bits, as 1 minute has breaking his heart and the next, he is punching walls because of the police investigation," Ted's grandson remarked. "How well do you know your British soaps? How many times has Ian Beale been married in EastEnders? What is the name of Bianca Jackson and Ricky Butcher's son on EastEnders? On EastEnders in 2002, who accidentally ran Jamie Mitchell over in his car which caused his death? How many times has Corey's Steve MacDonald been married? What happened to Emily Bishop in Coronation Street? who murdered Maxine Peacock in Coronation Street in 2003? Which incident in 1993 killed off 4 characters in Emmerdale? When did the show stop being known as Emmerdale Farm? On what day did Hollyoaks air its first episode? What was the name of the much-loved Coronation Street pet dog who was put down in April 2020 after 14 years? 1996 saw the arrival of one of Hollyoaks' all-time bad boys and rival of Kurt Benson, but who is he? Who is the longest-serving character on Coronation Street? Who shot Phil in EastEnders? How many fires have there been at Corey's Rover's return? Get out of my pub, you're no soaps fan. You're either too young to remember the big lines or have better things to do on weekday evenings. Casual viewer, you watch them sometimes so you kinda know what's been going on. Die-hard fan, you love watching the soaps so much your entire week is planned around when they air. Emma tried to tell John the police were doing everything they could, to which he said, "All they've done is stop my granddad from having the send-off he wanted." How do you mean? Emma asked, with the newcomer telling her, he was adamant he wanted to get cremated like Gran. Have his ashes scattered by the reservoir he used to fish by, but my dad said if the police got their act together and found something, they might need to exhume his body. So that's why we've buried him, he explained before the barmaid apologized, knowing the part she played in Ted's death. John asked if she wanted to come to the wake and he would have been more than happy to drive her, but Emma declined his invitation. It might seem as if this was a one-off meeting, but following the end of her romance with Curtis Delamere, Sam Redford, last month, Emma could be ready to move on. Having struck up a bond with John at the funeral, Emma could find herself bumping into him more often and they could spend time getting to know one another. Still not knowing how the barmaid played a part in his grandfather's death, John could begin to fall in love with Emma. But history has shown the beloved character doesn't have much luck when it comes to relationships, and this one could end in disaster as well as John discovers the heartbreaking truth about Ted.